Everyone. Sweet. Hi, what's up? Good evening. I'm Adam Federico, and welcome to Federico Live. It is June 5th. Thanks, Jeff. June 5th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's the first Thursday of the month, and you know you can always find Federico Live here at Federico Advanced YouTube, the first and the third Thursday of every month, and you can find Mr. Joshua Flowers with Weapon of Choice, the second and the fourth Thursday of every month on Josh's YouTube. Josh, what is it? Is it Josh XO? There we go. And you know, every Tuesday evening, you can find us here for B&L, a little barber night live on Federico Advanced, hosted by Mr. DC, Mr. DC the Barber. All right. So this evening, I'm kind of changing it up a little bit. You know, if you've been following us here on the Federico Advanced, you've been seeing lots of, you know, different lengths, different shapes, haircuts, from, you know, long Larry shapes to bob shapes to a couple pixies types of things. But I felt like I wanted to change it up and to bring in a gentleman. And the gentleman by the name here this evening is Jeff. And we'll talk a little bit about Jeff in a minute. But you know, something a little different than what you might see on our Barber Night Live, where you're gonna see more classic barbering technique. You know, in the salon, I cut a lot of men. I would say the ratio of my, you know, male to female clientele is like 60-40, I would say. And I really like having, and that'd be 40% men to 60% women. I like having men on my day.
Higher than I would have thought.
It's higher than you thought? Yeah. No, I like having men.
Yeah.
You know, what it does is it breaks up the energy, the monotony of the day. Helps keep me balanced out, you know what I mean? Having a good gentleman in the chair, different conversation, different, you know, use of language. And you know, the men that come into me, really, I'm not doing like, the real kind of like tight barbering stuff that you might see like DC doing. I'm doing what I would call more just like contemporary men's kind of like salon hair. And I think, you know, that's a big market today, and we always hear that. I mean, in my salon, the men that come in, and we have my clientele, like I say, is 60-40. The overall salon clientele, men to women, is like 70% women, 30% men, but these men are paying, you know, good money for a haircut, anywhere from $35 up to $65 for a haircut. So, you know, I think that we have definitely hit the revolution of, you know, the man wanting to come in and, like, you know, take care of themselves. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but let me get into the haircut because I don't want to waste time tonight. So, on Jeff, the idea is to keep his shape a little cleaner and just more groomed and tighter, so flattening out the sides, but still keeping it a little loose and shaggy, definitely around the perimeter line, taking this, you know, the hair back into the crown and to the nape area a little flatter and tighter into the shape of the head, and then keeping the top long, soft with some mild disconnection over the sides, but something that he can like kind of blow dry back and have just a very nice, soft kind of like, you know, coiffed to men's feel. So something very modern, yet it's very contemporary. So you could think of like a grown out, you know, David Beckham's kind of wearing his hair very like natural and loose and back, but with more length through the sides and the back. So, you know, that's kind of like what we're going for. And a little bit of history here about Jeff is, you know, Jeff first came into me, how many years ago was that?
At least 8.
At least 8 years ago.
Wasn't it sure like that? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when he was...
Yeah, 2002 probably.
2002. So when he was a younger gentleman. He was playing in a rock and roll band, like a lot of us dudes were maybe. But he was a great drummer, and he was growing his hair out, you know, to play the rock and roll lifestyle. Yeah. And we started, his hair was maybe a little bit longer than what it is now. And we grew it, and we grew it. We grew his hair, I take part in that. And we got it, you know, rather long and shaggy. Really yeah, it was cool. And then came the day of, what happened there?
Taking it down, right? The job search, I think.
The job, the real world.
Yeah.
So,
I had to go through that.
What we're gonna do and it's been a while, so I'll get yelled at by Josh, I'm sure. It's been quite a few weeks, and Josh will want to yell at me. We quit moving the chair.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Josh has got the dolly, so I can just keep the chair like stagnant, and Josh will move the dolly around.
Oh, really?
No.
That sounds great. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually work I'm going to collapse the shape. I'm going to work a concave layered shape. So I'm going to flatten it out a little bit leaner into the temporal region, and then I'm kicking my finger position so my knuckles are outward from the shape of the head, where my fingertips are definitely a little bit more inward, closer. And I'm going to use the plie and utilizing the heel of the blade, and you probably don't have anything other than hands right here.
No.
All right, let me spin around and give you a hole, and there's my back.
There we go.
Wearing a nice blue shirt for you. There we go. So awesome. I'm taking the fine teeth of the comb, distributing that hair straight out, and then coming back in now with the heel of the blade because I'm cutting to the left. Taking this in a little bit tighter and flatter, lightly sliding my fingers out as I get to that bottom line, taking off, a very nice soft bit. You can see a line, but you can see the softness. And that is just going to collapse down nicely to the shape of his head. And then I'll follow back with just a very slight vertical diagonal subsection. I'll pull the next one over, direct it lightly forward to increase in a little bit of length as we move into the back of the head. Again, going in with the heel of the blade, taking off that length. And I'm going to move around the shape of the head following this manner. We're going to have our good friend Andy from AJF Salon come in. And Andy has pre-cut something a little earlier today that he would like to share. And honestly, this was supposed to be, the girl who he cut was going to be my model for the night, and I double booked myself with models. So Andy cut her down today in the salon, and I took Jeff, because I thought Jeff would be a little bit more interesting for me to do, as well as I talked Jeff into this. How many weeks ago? 8 weeks, 9 weeks ago, upon his last haircut in the salon. So you can begin to see what it's doing. It's definitely beginning to flatten out the shape. It's keeping it a little soft and shaggy around the perimeter, which I can detail that in last. And you can see that mild over direction and that increase of length kind of looking right through here at the length in that way. So I'm kind of like looking through the hair, looking for just a very nice soft transition of the weight, that little bit of a weight line or the increase of the length in that layering. And then the softness, like I said, that all gets detailed in at the end. All right.
Do you find more of your guys are growing their hair out from the whole shaved side, long top thing?
Yeah. I do, I think when the big resurgence of barbering hit, what was that, a couple of years ago now, I was doing a lot of real high and tight, not high and tight, I would say, but very clean and tight scissor over comb work, with some length up on the top. But I get my guys coming back in requesting things to be a little bit looser. And I kind of like it when it's a little looser. It's a little bit more lived in. I think it's a little bit more rugged for a man. And I think the haircuts generally grow out a little bit better. There's that light, look at that, it's awesome.
Well, good.
It's great.
You need to have your assistant just hold on to this thing all day.
Right? So at Federico Advanced, what we've got coming down the pipe here, it's now June. We have, in a couple of weeks, we have a Rojo coming back in, June 22nd and 23rd, doing a couple American Wave certification classes. So that'll be going on. I know there's a few spots available left for that class. So if you're interested, it's June 23rd is the Salon Professional Day. June 22nd is a student day. If you're a student out there, you can definitely partake with our students of Federico, but June 23rd, if you're interested in that class is being sold through Arojo, so you would contact Arojo, the contact over there, her name is Lila, and you can score a ticket. It's $350. You walk out certified. being able to buy the perm, buy the American Wave, and do the American Wave in salon wherever you're working. And then the next class coming down is in July. That's with the Teals. We got Ryan, Deanna Lynn, and No Tuesday. I thought all three were coming, but it's Ryan and Deanna Lynn. They're coming in, and they're going to be doing a wig making class, and that's July 28th.
Which is going to be awesome.
Which is going to be awesome. And I saw the kit list of like what we need to supply for that class. I just want to go because I want to see how they're using this stuff. Like a roll of like chicken wire mesh and
iron. An iron? Did they ask for an iron?
No, maybe I saw. Yeah, I didn't know. I saw irons. Yeah, house irons, hot glue guns. You know. So and then.
Toaster oven? They always travel with the toaster iron.
No way.
Oven, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah, they cook in their hotel room. It's awesome. When I go to shows, I just hang out with them, and it's like home cooked meals all the time.
Oh, is that why? I thought they were like shoving like hair into the toaster. Oh, huh. Well, you know what that means. Ryan, you get no pasta and meatballs, buddy.
Yeah.
Gluten-free.
Knowing your dad, though, he'll want to
gluten-free pasta. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a special small batch for you. All right. That's what, July? So that's cool. That's a great class coming up. And you can go online and any of the classes that we're hosting at Federico, you can now go to federico.edu, go under the Advanced Education tab and purchase tickets. Right there. What you can do is you can check out our calendar. There's a little blurb on each of the artists as well as what the classes that they're teaching. And then you can just say like buy tickets for the class and just, you know, put in your credit card information and purchase a ticket. And then I'll take your credit card information and go and buy a new motorcycle for Josh because he needs a ride. So no, it's horrible.
Because we need a bigger game.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. August, we have a Goldwell VIP event. And that's August 17th and 18th. We got Demetrios Sumos. I think that's it.
You got it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Demetrios Sumos.
Wow.
And I think that's it. And he's probably somewhere not watching this, but that's not my last name. And
if he ever decides to watch the past episodes, it's all over.
It's right.
He's gonna be like, oh, screw those Federicos.
Yeah, they'll be like, sorry, there's no Goldwell event because Demetrius watched me like slander. Not even try to slander his name, just didn't even try. Just says sorry. He's like Prince.
He's gonna challenge you to a duel.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna slap you with a white glove, challenge you to a duel. At high noon.
Oh man. So that's Demetrios coming out for Goldwell. Sonia Brado, who has been is a NAHA finalist this year under the Contemporary Classic Men, representing KMS, and yeah, be a big show here in our theater space on Sunday night, and then the following day is some hands-on classes that you can take. Sonia's doing some long hair styling. Demetrios is doing like either a look and learn class in the morning and then a hands-on class in the afternoon. And you can do one of each or both of each. And I'm actually doing a class that day. I'm doing a razor cutting class, or actually I don't even know if it's a razor cutting. I'm doing a hair cutting class, so it'll probably incorporate the razor as well as some scissor work. And that's August. And September? I don't know what September is. Oh, DJ.
Is it September?
Yeah, DJ Muldoon. Mr. DJ, the Factory Hair coming in on in September the 29th. So we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. Come hang out. You can find all this, like I say, federico.edu, Federico Advanced Education, right there. All right, so now as I work around the back of the head, I'm now entering into the center back of the head, where at this point, when I finish up this subsection, I'll kind of go through the side I just kind of worked on. I'll just check it for a little bit for some weight, maybe tip into it. And then I'll move on to the left side, starting in the front, working back. Hopefully creating balance of length and weight and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Hopefully. It's always, that's it. Hopefully. So you can begin to see how we've definitely began to flatten out the shape of the head, but because of that over direction, it's still building up a really nice, you know, curvature shape. So it definitely tapers in to the nape area of the hair down into the hairline where it's going to stay soft through here. But we're building on some length through here so I have a nice transitional point into that top interior. And for those of you who may just be viewing in possibly for the first time, or for some old school viewers, you can please feel free to comment in below any questions in regards to like what I'm doing, what we're doing here. Say what's up, say hello, check in. Like I say, it's been a few weeks. It's been a few weeks. It's been three because
yeah, we had that whole fifth Thursday.
That threw me off. And there's 5 Thursdays this month too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, the 5th Thursday, just so you know.
Burgers and pints.
Yeah, is Burgers and Pints night. We off.
Hang on. Not tonight?
No, Burgers and Pints.
Where's the
Burgers and Pints. Well, Burgers and Pints are kind of like every night. Well, Pints are. Well, burgers. I can't eat burgers every night. I look like wimpy if I ate a burger every night. It's Tuesday. All right. Okay. So coming back in now. And I find, obviously, going from side to side, I'll generally cut 2 or 3 subsections, and then I'll stop and I'll check and balance the left or the opposing side for length and weight, making sure that I'm consistent. And it always sucks when I cut the second side shorter than the first side, because then you got to go back in and cut the first side down again. So always start off a little bit more conservatively as far as like the lengths may go. And as I move to the right with the razor, I'm going to use the tip of the razor. It's that little like dance, you know, tip to the left, heel to the right. So as I'm cutting to my right, I'm moving to the right, and my right hand moving around the shape of the head, using that first, call it inch, being the tip. And as I cut to the left, I'm utilizing, where am I at? Here we go. The back heel of the blade. And then when I want to create a lot of diffusion and line, I want to cut with the flat of the blade.
And North Shore 45 says, congratulations on your awesome parking spot, Adam.
You like that, North Shore? Yes. I've been promoted. I got a nice parking spot. Okay. After this section, I'll go ahead and check length. Okay. Right here. And head to the left side a little bit. Cool. So any of you guys out there that may be watching, hit up the Premiere Orlando show this last weekend, and if so, you know, comment in below what your feelings or your thoughts were. Like, what'd you see that was cool? You know, any companies, any artists doing some interesting stuff? Andy, no model yet?
No.
No, she's getting a little makeup on. That's good. Okay, so I'm going in between the right and the left, checking for balance and length. And that's a good thing there. I'm actually a little bit long on my left side of the head, which, like I say, that's always a good thing. It's better to be a little bit long on the new side I'm working on, so I don't have to go back in, sorry about that, buddy, and recut the side I've already cut down a little bit shorter. All right. So I'm excited for Andy to come in and share his haircut. Jacob must be like doing her up for you.
He always does. I swear, that guy can't do like quick makeup because he doesn't like half-ass anything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's a perfectionist. It's great.
So I couldn't work at, a great clips, or could I?
Right.
That 15-minute haircut would turn into, 2-hour haircut.
For $10.
For $10. I would make no money. Tipping into it a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then I'll continue to work around the shape of the head, just moving onward. I know that, I've known Jeff for a while here and I've been cutting his hair because he's been getting wiser and wiser through the past 8 years.
Just natural highlights.
Especially the last
Just
3
really
or 4.
bored.
The last 3 or 4 years,
Coincidentally, because it's the day after my 4th wedding anniversary. So
Yeah, wait, you saying then since you've been married that has been coming in grayer, huh?
You can say what you want.
I'm not saying nothing, but you can say what you want. Smart man. Yeah, no. Huh. It's because, it's the job. It's like,
Probably because I hit 30. Let's go.
Yeah. How old are you now?
33.
33, there you go.
Right, because I'm like 39 and I have no gray. and I'm not married. Beard's different.
The beard's different, yeah.
I bleached that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to put the gray in there.
Oh man, that goes back into Tuesday night, the Barber Night Live. I watched it last night.
Did you see that?
What was that he was painting on?
It was like some kind of like liquid hair color stuff.
He was asking me about it. It wasn't like just for men or anything like it, was it?
No.
Huh.
But yeah, that's how they get the really clean lines on the beard.
I was wondering about that. It was pretty cool.
Secret. Yeah, the secret sauce.
He was
Like,
good.
with lineups and everything, because I always tried.
Yeah.
Like to get lineups really clean,
that
and
real
it
crisp
never
line.
looked like I see on Instagram.
Right.
And then that's the secret.
Huh. I meant to ask him today, do you see that is what was that beard color or hair color, whatever the hell he was using?
I don't know. I want to use it for like all my fine hair clients. Just like, oh, I didn't accidentally like carve out your hairline. Here, we'll put this on.
That's like Andy's thing he was showing me today. Did you show Josh that, Andy?
Color wow.
Color wow.
It's like makeup for hair.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
That's kind of cool, though.
yeah, cool.
Clients would eat that up, though. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
can take care of their roots, but
let's really make sure they're, not coming in 6
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, let's space it out even
really
more.
Stretching it.
right.
More so, huh?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, dummies.
Those hair color companies.
Was it by a company?
I don't color wow. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what they do. It's like they're a company, but
But that's what they make, huh?
makeup for her.
Wow.
Yeah. Drop your chin down a little bit, bud. Cool. Jeff is always, I've noticed, a little bit heavier on this left side of the head, just behind like the mastoid area. And I think that's what's fun about cutting somebody's hair for so long. You can begin to learn like all their little like weird little quirks with their either hair growth or how their color takes or doesn't take in certain areas, and you can begin to really like tweak on it from, visit into the salon or every time they come in and readjust formulations or approaches to how you cut it to figure out tricks so you can balance it out a little quicker and easier. I've got a client who's like extremely like resilient gray, like right here at the mastoids, and I can't figure out what the hell to put on there to get it to cover and have the same kind of coverage. And she's like a high lift blonde client, and she's just real gray. But that's my challenge. So if any of you guys got any secrets out there, you share them with me. Please. Share. You see, I'm cutting a little bit fast tonight. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get done. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just trying to get done. I've got my own inspirational things to do this evening too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's this Fox and Goose.
What's that?
Moto Mito. Moto Mito.
Triumph?
So I'm riding the Triumph tonight. Yeah, Moto Mito is a bunch of dudes have like either cafe bikes, motorcycles. Now we're talking motorcycles. Somehow I'm always gonna like try to change the conversation. Screw hair, we're talking motorcycles tonight. And a bunch of dudes that have just ride really cool bikes, and they meet up and shoot the shit, talk bikes, have a beer.
Do you ever show up on your BMW and just feel like the oddball? Or?
No, there's dudes that'll show up on like little crotch rocket jet bikes and stuff. And jet bikes, is that politically correct? Yeah, I think so.
It's more of an abbreviation.
Yeah, it is, right? Thank you, Jeff. It's like an abbreviation. Well, it's not like I'm saying like WAP bikes, like Guido bikes for the Ducatis, and I can say that because I'm Italian. WAP bikes, right? So, yeah, that's tonight.
Yeah, so. Sounds like a total sausage fest. You guys have fun there, yeah.
Totally is.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like when I had an old car, I thought, oh, I'm gonna get so many chicks, and I just had dudes coming up to me all day, like, yo, what do you got in there? 286? Get away!
Get away, man. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, having an old classic car is like the most massive cock block ever. Actually, more of a cock magnet. Yeah. Dudes cross the street in front of you, they start puffing up their chest.
So what you're telling me, it would be good for like, maybe I shouldn't even go there.
Maybe not, but I see where you're going.
Right.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I needed to find a date and I was,
yeah,
batting for the other team.
Totally.
Here we go. I'll go get a old classic car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just saying.
Lure him into the car.
Yeah.
What's up, there's DC.
Hey, you want to see my Hemi?
Yeah. Hey, DC, come in, man. We were just talking about you.
We're talking about the stuff you use to fill in beards.
Yeah.
Share what that was.
In front of
You really want me to?
Yeah, man. No, wait. Was
You don't really want me to.
no.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was something you can buy in the store.
It was this brand new Schwarzkopf hair color.
Man, it was blackout formula. I don't know what you call it.
Blackout formula.
I don't know what you call it. Just add water and
Liquid eyeliner. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was a good one. That's
Oh, man.
You said a lot, though.
Not really.
No.
That was just for that.
No, the beard looked awesome, though.
I use it whenever asked for weddings and stuff like that. It looks good for portraits.
Well, it just made everything look really clean.
Yeah. How long does it last for?
About a few good washes. It's water soluble, so it just breaks down with water.
Okay.
The thing about it is sometimes you got to do a PD check with it because it's got some stuff to it.
Oh, it does it?
Yeah, you got to check. Some people it doesn't agree with.
Want to be careful with that then. Yeah.
So you got you a nice razor cut. I need to be sitting
Yeah. See, I had to bring in this is my buddy Jeff DC.
Hey man, nice to meet you. Good to meet you. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I figured we've got Barber Night Live, and I've been cutting lots of women. I got to bring in like the other side, maybe like a contemporary men's haircut. Something that's a little loose and shaggy, and not so like maintained.
All right.
So yeah, thanks. No, he's yelling at me to get my back out of the camera.
Oh, so it's not just me.
Oh no. It's not just you. Both of us.
I think it's you.
I don't know.
I think Adam had a class with you on how to cut hair in front of a camera and taught you all his secrets. Yeah.
When you nervous, throw it back there.
You know what? That's it. DC, you and me here next Thursday night with beers right over here as Josh does it. Where's
I'll bring you 6.
No, you know what? I'm gonna let you guys film.
Perfect. Yeah.
You guys can film each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, you guys can film each other. Yeah.
Maybe that might be a good little working tool. DC, I'll come in, I'll film you. I'll be like, God damn, DC. Now I understand.
More work, man.
Yeah, I know.
That would be great.
That's cool, though. All right, I'm with that.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Sounds like a great idea.
What razors that you're using there?
This is the just a feather plie. This is the Erojo branded one because it's red, but it's a feather plie. Yeah.
It's really light.
Yeah. You ever play with the the plie?
I haven't.
Oh, I'd throw you one of mine, man. Pick it up and start wanking on it.
Mess around with it. Yeah. Yes, sir. I just cut Avery's hair.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
We
We can get Avery back here too and do some. We can get everybody back here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Carrie and I next week.
Is it Carrie? We got Carrie coming out?
Yeah.
Cool. So Carrie representing the female side of barbering.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
DC, you can film then.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. So what we agreed upon is she gonna do the top, is with shear work and blending with the shears, and I'm gonna do some clipper work on the side, and just have some fun with it. But yeah, I can definitely shoot.
I'll just hang out and just eat Twinkies. Hang out in the corner and eat.
Eat Twinkies.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that does sound like a good plan.
All right, so now I'm just kind of working my way back around just that lower parietal ridge, and I'm going in just with the tip of the razor, creating a little bit of space. The space is going to do one of two things. Well, actually, it's going to do multiple things. Not one of two things would be the wrong thing. It's going to flatten out the shape, making it lay a little bit tighter in, but as well as it's going to put space between the lengths, which is going to allow for texture and just a little bit more movement out of the hair. And I'm kind of just going right into the mid shafts. Depending on the density of hair, you might want to go in a slightly higher. You might want to go, a little bit further out, just depending on how much like bulk and weight you're looking to pull out of that hair. And I'm just kind of like looking around and maybe tilt it down just right there. Perfect. And just going for, the denser spots. So I definitely have it up right around the parietal ridge. I'm seeing that right here around the mastoid process. It's definitely a little bit thick. Get that ear out of the way so I don't tap it with the razor. Coming back in, getting right into the mid shafts. Just using the tip of that blade, just ever so gingerly, keeping the length, but just taking out that bulk and weight.
I noticed that the blade slides. It doesn't. You don't chop into the hair.
No.
Slide it back and bring it back, and
yeah, the blade on these are the extreme. I mean, they're extremely like thin surgical stainless steel, and I mean they're sharp as hell, man. It's sharper than any pair of scissors you'd ever use. So as long as you got a nice like moisture saturation in the hair, man, it should just cut through like butter. That's what I'm looking for. Like butter, baby. A little bit of. I've been digging this stuff for the men.
yeah.
What is it? I was just gonna ask.
It's a product called Layrite. It's a grooming spray, and it's really like a really light hairspray, if you will.
Yeah. It's just water with a little bit of silicone base in it, with a little fragrance. Real
Break it up and let it hang.
You
It adds a little weight, but then tell me what you think about it.
I think, honestly, I've noticed is we're utilizing it as like a working tool. It doesn't create like grip on the hair where if I'm using the scissor or the razor that I'm like, getting any kind of friction from the product. So it creates a lot of slip. That's probably the silicone.
Yeah, right.
But then as I blow dry into the hair, it produces like some nice style support, a little bit of body. So yeah, it's actually a pretty nice product. I've been digging on it.
Shout out to Layrite.
Layrite, there you go.
One day I'm gonna introduce you to Donnie Holly. You heard of Donnie Holly, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like, we're both Donnies.
That's right.
But he likes Donnie. I don't like to be called Donnie.
Well, you're DC.
Well, you better get used to it now.
I'm Donnie.
Don't let the cat out of the bag.
Right.
Oh.
Donnie! And the funny thing about him is he doesn't like to be called Donnie with a Y. He likes to be called Donnie with an I-E.
But he wasn't at the Long Beach ISSC show.
He wasn't, but his guys were.
Yeah, you introduced me to quite a few of those
He was in
guys.
Australia or something that week or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm in Australia that
He's at the
week.
shop.
Yeah,
You got a shop.
does he?
Yeah, he got the force.
Cool. Andy, you got your model here?
Yeah.
All right, Andy, come on in.
It's looking really nice now.
Thanks. Thank you, DC. It's a party now.
Party.
Now we got Andy.
Party.
Andy, and this is his model Taylor. Andy, you want to stand close to me? Or talk loud because I got the mic.
So, Taylor here, we've basically got something like an A-line. Turn around real quick. If you look, we graduated the back, internally actually. And what I used like a shear for this. It's kind of like a square graduation, except I kind of cut the corners off in the mastoid area just to collapse the shape down through its like width a little bit. And then I came through the top with stuff like, mostly in the crown, mostly like the hair in the crown, I brought down, I kind of cut a line in with the razor, and in anticipation that it would spring up a little bit, just to kind of get a really solid weight line. But the thing I like about it is that it kind of goes with her jawline a bit, and it's very shelfy, and I like that about it. And you know, we might adjust it later on down the road, but right through here, the temporal area from the mastoid, most of this is like just cut triangular, but all of the interior of the haircut is short to long, kind of round. So if I, whoops. If I look this up,
Andy breaking stuff.
Every time he walks in.
I know, I'm flicking on
destroys
stuff.
things, yeah.
So we get a little short to long progression this way. So I like the juxtaposition of having something like round internally and putting something triangular through the exterior. And then with the fringe, if you want to turn towards the camera, I just kind of left it like a little longer, like in her face. Just that awkward length where she's going to have to push it out of the way. I don't know, I like making fringes that are just stuck in people's eyes sometimes.
Andy likes making things awkward.
Yeah, that's what I'm best at. So this is my haircut. It's done partially with the scissor and the razor. Refined it all with the scissor. And we only put like a color conditioner from Artis on there.
Which one did you use?
We used the, it's not mahogany, is it mahogany? I don't know, it's the reddish one, I think it's, I forget what they call it. But it's like the mahogany kind of color.
Jacob, come on up.
And Jacob did some makeup for me.
This is awesome. And now it's like an old school hip hop show. Like everybody up on stage.
I can't see anybody.
Everyone waving around white rags.
Jacob, you want to talk about your makeup?
Sure. Yeah, we just used a cream compact foundation on her and used 2 different colors. One to create a highlight and then, of course, one to sculpt up just slightly. Keep it really natural, I just did it really sheer. And then we used a few colors. We used bronzer in her crease, so that kind of trick just to give a little bit more depth, but without adding a lot of color. And then smoked it up with some black. It's blue, black eyeliner, wing liner. And we actually used a cream shadow on her eyes on our lips and then just touched up with some gloss to give it some longevity.
You said smoked it out. Now it is like a hip hop show.
Yeah.
Wow. Adam's making it real bad in here tonight. All right. Good. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
New ink.
Cool. Thank you guys. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Taylor, Jacob. Awesome.
I'm gonna get out of here too.
All right. Good.
Good meeting you, man.
You guys later. Good
You
meeting.
guys have a good night. So I'm moving on to the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work these long vertical subsections, just working straight down the center of the interior of the head. And I'm going to start working on the left side. And what I'm going to do is start in this back crown. And I'm going to pull or distribute this hair just straight out flat off the shape of the head, kind of working into that layered length, which you can see there. This is my working guide. I'm going to come on the back side of it, and then I'm going to cut just in a short, like short to long shape. So getting shorter in the crown, getting longer into the front hairline. So that could also be called like a light, you know, concave shape. I said concave shape, so I already said it. And this working upward. And keeping my strokes rather open, so at this point, when the hair does fall and it falls over the side lengths, that it's soft enough that it's gonna have just a really nice visual blend. Because it doesn't need to blend technically for me. I just need it to, like, as I were to comb it back, that everything sits really nice and kind of soft and moves back and away from the face. And I may take a little bit more length off of this front fringe area, but I'll retain it for the moment. So I'm going to work another vertical subsection back. So as I work this, I mean, what comes into my head, and I might be completely off, do you remember the old Sassoon haircut, the Fasson? It's like an old men's haircut. Had a very...
I would skip through the men's stuff.
A very classic kind of round graduated fill. I mean, the way they approached it was more like round graduation through the sides, even though I took on, you know, a similar subsection manner, but just kicked my finger position out into a concave position. Then they began to work into the top, I believe, in the same kind of subsection manner. I'm gonna have to go back in and revisit the VHS tape. That's right, VHS tape, because it's from the 70s or the early 80s, something like that. It's an old one. So as I begin to work into these top lengths, I'm using more of the heel of the blade, or not the heel, I'm using more of the flat of the blade and getting a lot more open and just creating a lot more of a softer, looser layer. And then maybe a little bit of tipping to pull weight out of the center. Any questions coming through this evening, or is it a quiet night?
It's a quiet night.
It's a quiet night.
Because we've been gone for a while.
People forgot about us. That's what happens, huh? You missed the beat. It's all right. As you know, you can always find the pre-recorded episodes of Federico Live or Barber Night Live or Weapon of Choice on YouTube pretty much right then and there. But Josh will go back in and clean them up a little bit, edit them down the next day so you can catch a really nice clean version of it. And you can share it out on all your social media content to show off to all your friends that you're really hip on the cool independent education movement. Because we're doing for hair what, you know, those kids used to do for really cool hip independent bands. So get on the bandwagon before it's like really not cool anymore. Before it's uncool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Grandma.
Thank you. So as I move back, I'm just always bringing that hair back, kind of checking for fluidity, for weight, assessing my shape.
See you later.
Like those glasses. Are those yours?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Later, man. Have a good night. Thank you, Andy, for taking care of that. Yep. Now I'll move back into the opposite side of the head. Same thing. Spin my chair around here. Coming back in, going from that underneath length as I begin to move forward, sliding out the fingers slowly to increase in the lengths and begin opening up the stroke more and more so. Okay. And you know, on some guys, even some women's haircuts, like when I put in a lot of internal texture, you know, a haircut, I may not need to do that every time. Sometimes you put enough texture in the hair, pull enough bulk and weight out of it that you don't need to be nearly as heavy-handed with it, you know, the second go around, and sometimes even the third go around. And I've had clients that will come back in and just say, hey, you know, just clean up the length, all the inside of the weight still feels really good. So that's what I'm kind of assessing now as I move through, and I'm looking for like transparency of hair within my fingers, from dark to light or light to dark, and just looking for a nice consistent transparency. And then I'm using the tip of the razor to break up the heavy spots to keep everything really nice and fluid.
And we have a question from North Shore 45.
Yes, North Shore.
When you're tipping, do you go mid-shaft or closer to the end?
I spoke of this briefly a bit ago, and you must have been going to the refrigerator and getting another beer in North Shore. What I do is, it really depends on the density of the hair and how much weight they want out. You know, the denser the hair, the closer up to the scalp I'll go. If they want a lot of freedom and movement and weight taken out of the hair. If the hair is finer, sparser, definitely gonna stay a little bit more on the ends of the hair. Generally, you know, I'll start into the mid-shaft, pull out some mid-shaft bulk on like average to normal hair. And then like right now, I consider like going into the mid-shaft right here. And then if I want to pull out more bulk, I might go up a little bit higher. So you really just have to, like, it's one of those things, understanding what the client is wanting as far as weight removal and bulk out of the hair, as well as, you know, the density of the hair that you're working on. The one thing I will say on that is no matter what the texture is, I'll always look at the texture of the hair as well as and then the natural like movement and bend of the hair, and make sure that I'm cutting not so high up that I'm gonna cut something so short that's gonna want to stick up and out. So like right now, as I assess Jeff's hair, like in this background area, I'm looking at, you can see how this hair is growing out of the scalp, and then it's got this nice soft natural bend right here, and then this length. So I wouldn't go any higher on Jeff than this length right here, which is about 1.5 inches, you know, in length and closeness to the scalp. I feel like if I were to go from this point up to the scalp, I might, you know, I'll probably result with a little hair that's wanting to stick straight up and out. So I always cut just after the first bend of the hair, so I don't have any, you know, any natural little alfalfa sprout, you know, bits, unless you're cutting something, you know, more creative or into the crown where you're looking for that kind of pop in the length or that pop in that crown. Then you can definitely get a little bit more aggressive. But it's one of those things. It may not even be the crown, it may just be in the area that you're wanting to work on, but it's just understanding, you know, the hair and how it can pop up and work against you, or, you know, you may want to utilize that. So that's to answer that question. Now what I'm doing is I'm coming back in horizontally, straight across. Because of the over direction to the left and the over direction to the right, I'm winding up obviously with a central long point. Winding up with like a point because I pulled it here, I pulled it here, so that's gonna retain length into the center. So now what I'll do is I'll direct the hair back to retain length, and I'll find that corner. And I'm not saying I'm getting rid of the corner, but I'm just gonna tip into that area a little bit more so to make sure no matter how that hair falls, it sits soft. Bring your head back to me a little bit. Perfect. Bring it back. And get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit closer up into these front fringe areas. See, in this area in the fringe, I'll go in a little bit closer, or a little bit, yeah, closer to the scalp, because I know that Jeff likes a little lift out of the front. So, you know, that theory, short hair pushes long hair. I'm gonna go ahead and put some short hairs in there to help support the front in the styling. But not doing chunks, just really soft tips with the tip of the blade. Cool. All right, and that's pretty much the length of where I'm going with it. And now what I'll do is I'm just going to drop the head back, just kind of comb the hair around. I'm going to assess how the hair kind of falls and melts over one another. And then I can go back in and just do a little bit of detail work in the center point and the center back of the head. Same kind of thing because of the light over direction of subsections. I wound up with a little bit of weight. So I'm just kind of going in and breaking that up so it doesn't sit like you know, conventional old like firefly or wedgie shaped haircut. A little duck's butt is what the old school clients would call it. You get those clients in beauty school like, oh, I want a duck's butt. I still hear it every now and again on the clinic floor. Just tells me that generation's still alive and out there. Okay, bring your head back. Cool, all right. So now I'm gonna quickly work around the perimeter line and kind of sit that in nice and soft. Give it a little bit of moisture. Okay, so I know that Jeff wants to be able to like bring this hair back. He likes for it to all kind of sit back behind the ear. He doesn't want this hair around the sideburn like really like cleaned up with a trimmer. He wants to still keep it soft, but he wants it to look, you know, professional. Yeah, right? Yeah. So this is where like the hair can definitely have like a cleaner contemporary edge, be professional, but still really soft and loose and have a, you know, its own individual personality to Jeff. So just kind of coming back in, and I'm taking just that little sliver of hair. It's gonna be a hard one for me to get. I'm just gonna pick it up in my fingers, this bit here. And keeping the length, but just using the tip just to kind of break it up so it stays soft and it looks, you know, like it was meant to be soft right there. And not just like, you know, Jeff needs to get pulled into the office from his boss and reprimanded about, hey, on your lunch break you need to go hit up a Great Clip or Supercuts and get a haircut, boy. You're not representing our company. And then same thing back behind the ears I did on the opposing side. Just kind of breaking up a little bit of that mastoid area. And that's like really where he has a lot of salt, kind of like right back here.
That's where it started.
Is that where it started?
It started right in the back.
Right in the back. And I'll pick this up here, over direct it out a little bit, and I'm just using the tip of the razor. I'm just breaking up the lengths, keeping it soft. And I want to keep it soft, but I want to keep it so long that it's going to like flick out on me. Because it'll do that in a couple of weeks. And if it's already beginning to like flick out or curl out, you know, today, I mean, I can just imagine how it's going to look in a week. So it's got to have some room to grow. And coming back in and just pinching pieces, detailing it out. And this kind of stuff, you know, it's going to differ on every man. It's going to just depend on their natural hairline, how their hair moves, how it grows. I like to keep hairlines like this, like super, just like soft and super natural. But what I will do is I'll push the hair to the right and the left. And then this little bit down here is useless to me. So I'll come in with the flat of the blade and just clean that off. And that'll actually give it a little bit of an undercut, not a true undercut per se, but it'll allow the hair that's just sitting right back on top of it a little bit more freedom to like move and to be chunky. Other things coming down, Federico Advanced, finish out that calendar for the year. Douglas McCoy with the House of Pop. He's coming back in October, sharing his brand building class, you know, and then he's also going to do some hands-on models with you and haircutting and styling, and that'll be followed up with a photo shoot, you know, held by Josh over here in the studio space. And you know, Douglas was here last year and he did that class. It was a great class, good energy, good person. So I'm excited for him to come back. He was actually supposed to be back this month, but we had to rearrange calendar because of obligations, if you will. Move this away. I'm just gonna take this little bit, hold the skin nice and taut, just begin to softly take it away. Pick this up. So can we find your music anywhere, Jeff? Your old music? Is it on iTunes or somewhere?
Oh man, it's locked away.
Is it?
I don't think it's on iTunes or anything, but you know what? I've got about 2 cases of old EPs.
There you go. Look at that.
Oh man.
Was it the Lost Tapes? So it was this Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh yeah.
Remember that movie? What was it they were looking for? They were looking for the Lost Record. Damn, what was the name of it? I can't even remember. I love that movie though.
Lately the thing is lost YouTube videos.
Yeah. Oh man.
Look how skinny I was.
That guy put his butt on my head. Wait, what? Okay. All right. Working around. I'll go back into his right sideburn, do the same thing, and then we'll give him a little blow dry, and then we'll reassess the weight. Possibly pull a little bit out when we're done there. Using the tip of that razor, kind of get quiet a little bit as I'm working around the ear with a straight edge razor. Yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah, just focusing. There we go, sitting that in. Cool. So what I'll do, Jeff, you got some hair on the ground tonight, buddy. Needed to come off.
Needed it, yeah.
Just kind of lightly resaturate the hair. And begin to clean this gentleman up. So he has a little bit of that layrite in there, which is a nice light like hairspray. I'm gonna put in a little bit of a really light paste to promote, you know, just some control of the ends, give the hair a little bit of texture. Get a little body. It's not going to leave the hair real shiny. It should just keep it really nice, kind of like a lowly satin sheen. Cool. And off you. Clean you up. Is that okay on the neck?
Feels good. Yeah.
Good, okay. All right. So, blow dry. For guys, really, what I try to do, if I don't have to pick up a brush, because for me to ask them to pick up a blow dryer is like, just challenging enough sometimes. So, blow dryer, hands. It's gonna come back to the right, so I'm gonna begin blow drying it back to the left, utilizing good tension, stretching out that wave pattern with my fingers. And I like the fingers when blow drying the hair, because what it's gonna do is it's going to, he's got some wave in the hair. It's gonna help smooth and relax the wave a little bit, but it's not gonna relax it too much, and it's gonna keep it, more natural looking. I got high heat, high fan speed. Bringing the sides back up and off the face.
You always start with high heat?
Yeah, I always start with high heat. You know, for clients, it depends on their hair type again. You know, Jeff asked you to use high heat. If they've got fine hair and they're really like, you know, don't know how to use a blow dryer, I tell them to put the fan speed on a low fan speed and more of a medium heat setting so they can control their blow dry and not whip the hair around too much too quick and then lose all, you know, control of it. So, but Jeff is definitely seasoned enough where I say use a high fan speed and use high heat. In the back, I'm just kind of raking it around. He gets some really nice body to his hair. I remember when I used to be able to grow my hair long and I had it similar to this. I always got, you know, it made me feel good, man. I get compliments from women about like, oh, you got a really nice head of hair. I bet you're one of those dudes. I bet you get compliments about, you got a really nice head of hair, don't you?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Right? It's a nice, I get a really nice head of hair. Man, I try all the time. It's been years because I feel like I'm beginning to get compromised in this area. I might feel making things up, but I just know that it's not what it once was, you know? Cool shot, set it up. All right. And then before we finish it up, pick up the scissor, go back through it quickly, make sure I don't have any ends that are just like extremely like loose and just coming out of nowhere. It's gonna be moving to the right. Use my scissors and tip into it and take a little bit more bulk and weight out of it if need be. Good. Little ends that just, you know, look a little too scrappy.
Finishing touches.
You got it. And coming back in. Looking for that little disconnection between the right and the exterior and the top.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it?
I'm feeling good, man. I think we got you back on track. Head back to me. Come back up and around this corner. Take this bit of weight out. Down. And come into this bottom hairline a little bit. Just kind of do a little channeling just to break it up a bit. Same thing on the opposing side. Good to me. Right on. And okay, blow this hair off. Close your eyes. Hair off the face.
What?
Huh? Go on. Yeah.
Store says,
Oh yeah. North
great
Shore.
haircut with nice tricks. I love the little details on cutting the hairline, Adam.
Thank you, North Shore. What am I doing? Arr. All right, take this off my hands. So in this towel here, I got a little baby powder. I like to finish all my gents up. We call these powder towels in the salon. So what we do is take a towel, fold it up in the fours, little baby powder on the inside, smoke and mirrors, and then sometimes I'll give them to the gentleman to step back off into the changing room so he can dust off before he puts his shirt back on. But if he has his shirt on underneath, then I'll just take care of it for him. And what it'll do, obviously, is it'll take care of all the little hairs, helps remove them. But as well, if they get down their back and really bring this down in their back, it helps out with keeping them not itching the rest of the day. So a little baby powder. Always like the little baby powder. Then last little bit is I'll make sure that, with the smock off, I'll reassess the hairline, making sure I got all my little fuzzy bits off. You're good. And then we'll put a little product in there and finish it up. So I'll come back in with the same kind of paste. Just a dab will do me. In the hands, really well. And then just kind of rake it through. Bring it through the sides, using the palms of my hands a little bit more to flatten that out. Bring it up. Looking for some good support.
There we go.
Looking good. And then finish it off. Cool.
Great.
So, this is Jeff, and just a quick reassessment. We just took a parietal rib subdivision interior from the exterior, worked a really loose concave layering technique, kind of collapsing out the shape around the temporal area, keeping all the bottom perimeter really soft and loose, mild over direction, everything into the subsequent subsection as we worked the way around. That way we built up this really nice, soft, round internal shape. And then as we moved into the top, we worked on these vertical subsections, center strips, working down the top interior, over-directed everything to straight up flat off the parietal ridge here, and then kind of freely check that in a short to long progression of length, creating a interior concave layer, so keeping the focus of length more so into the top. And then we used some basic pointing or tipping techniques with the razor to take some bulk out of the mid shaft through the sides and the back, and then just did some freehanding techniques with the plie razor and the tips of the shear to loosen up all of the hairline and to sit it in. Came back in with some texture paste, a really loose pomade to finish off the style. So this is Jeff. Thank you very much for tuning in to Federico Advanced. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Be sure to check us out every first and third Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check out Josh with Weapon of Choice the second and the fourth Thursday of every month, 6 p.m. And Barber Night Live every Tuesday coming at you from Federico Advanced at 6 p.m. So cool. Thank you very much. Stick around. We're going to take a couple pictures, and we'll see you next week. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Pleasure, buddy. Thank you. All right. So real quick, Jeff, we need one picture. So you have go put your shirt on real quick.
All right.